exhausting day. Can't believe I missed my college bus yet again. You really should start waking up earlier, you know. Or I could get used to the MTC buses. I mean, think about it. Early in the morning with empty roads and empty seats, the bus speeding along, the sun rays hitting you by your face, by the window, and the air blowing your hair everywhere. My mind automatically sings, Kaatru veesum disayallam nee pesum sattam ketene na kaatrai maaripone anbe. As a 21 rupees bus ticket flutters fervently in my fingers, and I fall asleep and wake up to the grumpy conductor yelling at me about my stop. Anyway, I get off the bus and spot my friend group waiting for me, and we slowly waltz to class. And guess what? The first period is cancelled? What? Woohoo! I mean, what a start to the day, right? We then hang out on the lawns, listen to some music, watch the butterflies float and shit, and so much more. What a morning. But then, the events of the next 1 hour left me marinating in my own thoughts for the rest of the day. I experienced something that had never happened to me before. It's still so fresh in my mind, like I can recall and relive every moment just as it happened. What happened? What happened was that we saw some of our friends playing kabaddi and we decided to go join them. As per ritual, teams were always chosen by two of our friends, Rakesh and Sonali. But since both had an exam that day, they couldn't make it. And being computer science students, we thought, hey, let's choose our teams based on binaries. So we'd alternately shout out 1 and 0, and at the end, all of us will split across and form our respective teams. And so we started off calling out our numbers. 1, 0, 1, 0. And while the rest of them formed their teams, we checked across the line to quickly see whose team we would be on. Now, I was standing at the end of the line, fully ready to receive the energy and yell out my number, when something hit me. Both the teams, the ones and zeros, were equal in number. And since I was the last person standing, I get to choose which team I can be part of. Now, this has never happened before, right? Because it was either always Rakesh or Sonali picking us on their teams. So, for the first time, it was totally up to me. I could decide which team to be on. That incident, those moments where I made that choice, ran over and over and over in my mind. Not only because it was a new feeling, no, but because it was familiar. Oh, so familiar, except I couldn't exactly remember from where. For a long time, I used to think that I simply was not among the right company, or that it was just a confusing phase in life, which would probably straighten itself over time. I felt different, I perceived things differently, and I dreamt differently. This place, I'm telling you, this place is always hated me.
In this society, honor is everything.
It always has.
And always will be.
The evolution of literature is testament to the evolution of the human race.
We've grown and changed a lot across these centuries, but the theme of honor stands strong with its head held up high.
From Shakespeare's Caesar to Japanese samurais,
To the ordinary families in our country, honor has defined and shaped how we live our lives.
honor dictates who is what
Who gets what?
and who doesn't get what.
Now, while the dynamic may be slightly different for collectives, for an individual, for me, in my identity lies the roots of my pride.
Notice how I said pride and not honor, because honor, like beauty,
Is only subjective to the eyes of the beholder.
as for you, honor might be to stand above another.
For you, honor might be to kill. But for me, honor is in being who I am. And I am what I am. Pride. And how would you feel if your identity itself wasn't yours? Your identity. What if it were a mere projection of how society thought you ought to be? And that too just because that's how it always has been. And that is apparently the natural order of things. Why did someone else get to decide what I must feel like enjoy inexperience? Fuck this! Not anymore. It's your choice and yours alone. When social constructs are the building blocks of society, each different perspective paints a different picture. And when that same society wants to celebrate just a select few paintings, it's injustice of the highest level. What about the rest of us? What about you? Or me? Me? About me? What can I say? I am you. I am you, except I took a leap of faith in doing what I wanted to do. I mean, what you wanted to do. I said, fuck this, and took my own identity in my hands. I was brave and confident, but I was also scared and nervous. The first day after my metamorphosis, chants of,
What's wrong with people these days? That's unnatural. How could she do that?
echoed at the back of my head. I sat there in silence, listening to them. The words going in and out of my ears like a buzzing, boring college lecture. I wasn't zoned out. No. I was pretty much focused on how I was feeling the whole day. Hey, have you ever seen a video of a giraffe giving birth? You haven't? Oh, well, you should. They are tall animals, right? During birth, the baby giraffe slowly emerges from the mother and plops to the ground. I mean it! Literally plops to the ground. The mother then turns around, swoops down to her newborn, and slowly accustoms the baby to the new environment by her warmth and touch. In some time, you see the baby giraffe trying to get up, emerging unprovoked on its own, as if trying to claim the spotlight after winning the race for life. The baby giraffe stands up, wobbles, but doesn't give up yet. Seeing the child struggle, the mother too nudges to offer her child a taste of balance. And in no time, the baby giraffe is up on all fours, ready and excited to take on the new adventure. And that is exactly how I felt, as if I plopped into a new world. Slowly and gradually, I got comfortable with my own skin. I stood up and smiled. My face beamed radiantly, reminiscing what I was and being comfortable with who I am now. It's been difficult, certainly, from acknowledging the new me to coming to terms with that and finding it path forward, falling and getting up and finally reaching that finish line. This does not mean that the marathon is over. I've won only a part of it. And I know that there'll be a lot more races that I'll be running with a whole new set of crazy hurdles that I know will be there. I did have help along the way, I did have help. I had the help of my friends and family to support me. And I know that not many have the kind of support I did. And that is why I offer all of my support and love for anyone who decides to tread this path. You will find your way through.
Remember the kabaddi match I told you about?
Oh, you lost that match.
Badly. But we fell and rolled and laughed until our stomachs hurt. We lost, but I felt like I won. Because metamorphosis, like I mentioned before, is special. And we are butterflies, and my wings are my identity. After all, it is my choice.
My choice. My choice.